Hello, welcome back to Homestead Japan. And today we're going to do a little bit of a guide for life in the Japanese countryside and talk about this thing. This thing. What is this thing? It is a bag, of course. But in our case, it's how we do the Kairanban. A Kairanban is a way of exchanging information between people in the countryside in a very analog way. Usually, what happens is you will get it from one of your neighbors, you will take it to the next neighbor in the chain. That can be very close, or, might have to hop in a car. It just depends. Every neighborhood does it a little bit differently. And it also helps you see faces and check in. It's a good way, especially in a place with an aging population, to make sure everybody's okay. And the other side effect of having, especially in the countryside, a more elderly population is that maybe technology levels aren't there. So some people don't have a great grasp of, they're not all going to have like a modern smartphone or something to get information from. A lot of people don't have computers at all. Japan used computers a lot as a business machine, and it never had the whole gaming side or home office side as much. I guess home office maybe that might be the one case, but like for gaming and other home purposes, it was just very niche and very expensive. So a lot of people just went straight to the mobile devices that were, far more advanced than we had in, say, the U.S. at the same period of time. And so we have a lot of people who have no way other than maybe radio, television, or this analog system to reliably receive news and information about what's going on. And that's a thing too. There are radios in people's houses that you can get. I think we would pay 1,500 yen, which is not much in U.S. terms. That's like $10 to rent the radio for as long as we live here. I don't think there's a yearly fee, and I have a loudspeaker very close to my house, so I don't need it. But we could put that in the house. But that's more emergency announcements and a little bit of, this week we're doing this sort of thing. There's a traffic safety thing going on. Be careful. Drive safely. There's an accident and a child was hit by a car. Be careful. We can't allow this. Stuff like that. But moving back to the topic of this thing, the Kairanban. It's, in our case, a bag. And it contains a couple of things. This is not the real one, but it is same color almost, at least. Just I don't have it right now. It's at one of our other neighbors. And it contains a spiral notebook with like a clipboard thing at the back. It has a list of all our names and addresses and the head of household, not all the names, but the head of household and the address, and then the order in which it travels is in the front. We have a couple of laminated pages with information that doesn't change, like in protective sleeves. And then the clipboard thing in the back usually has whatever's going on right now that's most interesting. Last week or the weekend before, I forget which at this point, we had one of our yearly few time a year grass mowing campaigns where we all got up in the morning. That was announced about 2 weeks in advance through the Kairanban. It wasn't announced anywhere else. They sometimes in the morning of announce it on the loudspeaker, but that's a little late. The other things are like community events, anything like that. And then there are usually some seminars that are going on. There may be a festival or something that'll get in there. And then there's, of course, the advertising that you would always have. Just the back page is some local sponsors that pay for some of the materials and whatnot. The rest is our taxes and, I guess, neighborhood fees. I know that's the neighborhood association fees sometimes get used for stuff like that. Ours are like 100 and something, 15,000 yen a year, maybe, which is like 100 US dollars. Um, Not much at all. And it buys stuff for the kids at the school and the daycare nearby. It is used for things, materials that we need in the neighborhood for beautification or cleaning, or, when we do our mowing or whatever, I think it goes to buying beverages. Is usually Pocari Sueto or something like that, like a sports drink or tea, water for, when we're out and it's 30 something degrees with 75, 80% humidity doing all the grass cutting and stuff. It's good to have a beverage. And last year we had an imonikai, which is like a gathering, potluck gathering almost. I mean, the emo in there means potato, and it used to be like a potato stew or potato roast type of thing. But it's kind of a social event. That's a very northern Japan thing, I guess. Um, so yeah, those kind of announcements. We also um, use my props. So this would be like the notebook. It's the heaviest thing in there. This is ham radio study guide if you're actually curious. Then we would have something else like a one of these magazines. This is a motorcycle magazine, but it would be for like the prefecture that we live in, Miyagi Prefecture, and that comes once every 2 months, I think, or maybe once a month. I don't remember. And the Kairanban, depending upon whether there's news or not, could circulate twice in a week, but also once or twice in a month. It just really depends on if there's information. And that information, let's take a slight tangent. That information is gotten by whoever is the leader, and that is a rotating position in our neighborhood. It just goes down the line. Thankfully, I came in the year that it was my neighbor, so I will be last. I have a few years to prepare, and wife will be very helpful in this. um, but yeah, they're responsible for getting this material, putting it into the correct bundles. I mean, we usually get things rolled up and rubber banded with this and like any leaflets, or there might also be some festival information in there. So we have our Miyagi Prefecture version, and then there's one for our county or local level that gets put in there. Sometimes we'll have one, but not the other. Just depends on the frequency again and what's around. And those have events that are going on, programs that we can take part in, stuff like that. And it is basically just a way to check on your neighbors and send information along. Um, Unfortunately, there is no documentation on this in English that I saw from Wikipedia. The only other language is actually Farsi, which is also known as Persian, which is spoken mainly in Iran. We do have a lot of people from Iran and Japan, but it's interesting that there's not even a Chinese version of this article, which is the most common non-Japanese ethnic group in Japan. But so what do you do with this thing? You will get it if you're not home. They might hang it on your door, or put it somewhere out of the rain. Make sure it doesn't get the weather in it. Your job is to get it, understand the information in it. There's usually like one of these little wrapped up bundles with the different magazines. You usually take one for your family, and then you take it on to the next person, preferably as soon as you can. Same day is best. I mean, that is the downside of this news. It spreads slowly this way. And, you talk to your neighbor, greet your neighbor, and hand it over. And, if they're not around, you can just leave it there. Some people might put notices that they're going to be on vacation or out of town, just so that they don't try to deliver to them. I think most of the time you would call and say that, just more privacy that way, just to the person who actually needs to know, like your neighborhood leader. And they'll tell whoever needs to know not to drop it off at your house if there is one, and to watch your house too. We're also the neighborhood watch, although that's rarely a problem in these parts, thankfully. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of information on this in English, and I thought this might help if you're new to Japan and somebody shows up with a binder or a bag and says Kairanban. Then maybe you'll know what to do with it and what to do about it. I'm not sure how in depth to go in this video, so if there's more that you would like to know, or more detail, if you want more videos like this about rural life in Japan, please subscribe. Please let me know in the comments. I want to make content you're interested in. I plan on doing these a little bit higher production value and more of them in winter when we have more time, but it was just nothing to do outside this week, although I did study for and pass my ham examination in there, which kept me a little bit busy during the rain. And we're going to be in Tokyo for a couple of days for a little wedding event. So I didn't have time to, now that the weather is starting to try to get nicer, we probably going to rain tomorrow too. I didn't have really time to make a video about the outside, but yeah, we're Homestead Japan. I've been Jay. Please give us a follow. Let me know if you want more of this, and or more detail on them, or both, and I'll see what I can do. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.